Hey, we're back with another episode of NYCFC at home with the Cooligans, presented by El Jimador.
Okay, you caught your breath. All right.
You know, just even from the last match, I'm gassed still.
Okay, we're excited about today's show. Yeah, we're going to be recapping a couple matches. You know, we got one loss, we got one draw. Okay, but things are on the up and up. We got a lot to look forward to because today we're going to be joined by Gary Mackay-Steven, midfielder for your NYCFC.
We're going to call him GMS. It's easier, okay?
Too many syllables, okay?
So many hyphens on this team, you know?
Let's take an inside look.
Which, by the way, presented by Adidas. All right? Shouts to Adidas, yo.
All right, so let's take a quick look at some of the recent matches. Obviously, a loss to New England. Yeah. Tough game. We've usually had their number in the past, but they played pretty well. They got an early goal, that's just an L we have to live with. But against Orlando, I think there was a clear level of improvement. Even though only ended up with a draw, there was still a lot of positive things to take away from that game.
Absolutely. If you look at the standings, right, Orlando is in, and it's just, trust me, it's hard for me to even say this. Orlando's in that upper crust, right, of, sort of much higher points.
There's a pizza reference. I love it. Okay.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to make a reference to something, carbs are going to be involved. But they're in that sort of upper crust, right? So getting a draw against them, especially in this type of match, which it seemed like as many chances as we were getting, we just couldn't crack it. And once you get a draw like this, it almost feels like a win. This is one of those draws where you walk away going, you know what? I thought we were going to drop all 3 points, but we stole one back.
Yeah, there was a that second half, really after the goal was given up, right, against Chris Cash Money Mueller.
Yeah, just floating it right over Sean Johnson. When you think about that, that's a lot because we've met Sean Johnson, and not only is he a tall dude, but he's got nice long arms and huge hands. So I'm like, just to get over that dude is quite a bit.
Okay, yeah, nothing. There's not too many that go over him like that, right? So, but yeah, after that goal was given up, I think the team kind of rallied together, and even though again, we're missing players and another injury with losing James Sands. There's still a level of chemistry that doesn't really seem to be disrupted. You love to see the 1-2s from like Anton Tinnerholm and Ring, and there's still Keaton Parks. Can we talk about Keaton Parks,
buddy? Bruh? He's on one.
Because Keaton Parks is talking about Keaton Parks. All right.
If we ask Keaton Parks and he told us that Keaton Parks gets buckets, that's a quote.
Okay. So we need to listen to this man right now. Because
talking to third person. That's the kind of dude he is right now.
Because Keaton Parks played incredibly well as far as, showing that, like, when we had him on the show a couple weeks ago, I had said, I'm like, yo, Keaton Parks is a tall Maxi Morales, right?
Yeah.
On the ball, he's a lot taller, but you can't get the ball from him, right? He makes and he's an incredible decision maker, and he showed that, in this game clearly.
He is good at getting the ball forward, and there's something about the way the team plays under Ronnie Dyla that I haven't seen so much in the past, where it seems like in the previous years, players were getting into positions that they knew they were supposed to be in, right? This year, it seems like when someone has the ball, everyone else is looking for space or to make a run. So it's very unpredictable, and it's something that it's so much fun to watch, and that's why I think we've said, there's been a ton of injuries, and it's unfortunate, but it feels like as one player leaves, a different player slots in, whether it's a Ring on the wing or Keaton Parks playing a bit more forward or Gary Mackay-Stevens connecting more as opposed to just going down the wing. There's so much more of that happening where it's so fun to watch because you just have no clue what's going to happen next. Yeah. You don't know who. Sean Johnson might tap in a poacher's going. You're like, how did you even get there?
No, it's comforting, right? Because even with the rough start at the beginning of the season, and it's almost like where NYCFC is in the table is not necessarily reflective of who they are as a team right now, right? They're just like the improvement is clearly there, and it's interesting, right? Even after the game, we should talk a little bit about the comments from Ronny Deila. He has been criticized, and people have asked questions about when he chooses to make substitutions, and he kept it real. Okay, as far as what his coaching philosophy is,
I have confidence in them, of course, but I play the players that I think is best, and I don't need to change people to change people. I change them when they're tired or they play.
It's difficult to criticize him so harshly when the team, there been some losses, yes, but overall the last couple of weeks that have been pretty positive. So
you know what I think it is? It's because when I play FIFA, I'm thinking about the changes I could make. I think it's just a lot of people that are playing the video game and they get it in their head that they're like, oh, well, these are the changes I would make. Why aren't you making these changes? And Ronnie's like, I play no video game, IG. This is a real game.
These are real human beings that I'm working with here.
That's not a button. That's a real dude.
Oh, it's like, okay, you want to tell this dude I have to take him out because he gets mad at me. Okay,
yeah. When you shut the game off, he don't text you. Those players don't text you. This dude knows my number. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to deal with that. Okay, I'll give him your number if that's the case. Look, it's I think a good result to get in Orlando with the weather. Road games in general are with this season in MLS are just up in the air, right? You travel the same day. As far as like rest and what is you don't know what to expect. So when you can get a point on the road, that is something to be happy about. Okay, so let's talk to one of the players from NYCFC. Midfielder played an incredible shift in the last game against Orlando. So let us talk to Gary Mackay-Steven.
Come on, baby. We bring you. I mean, we tried. Like we've done this, right? We've gone to the locker room. They won't let us in. You know what I mean?
COVID rules, blah blah blah.
Oh, wearing a mask. I'm completely. Not only am I wearing a mask, I'm wearing an Ian Joy mask over it, so that you think I'm Ian Joy, so I can get in here, and it's not working.
Okay, yeah, we gotta. You're gonna be Ian Joy for Halloween. You've spoiled it for everybody. Okay.
Oh, damn! Is it the ketchup stains on my shirt? So if we can't get into the locker room, we're at least going to bring you to players right here to At Home with the Cooligans.
Let's go.
With the rest of the title. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, this player, we tried. We've actually, this is like the third time we tried to do the interview because every time we start, he just runs down the wing real quick. And I'm like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
But it's so fast. But this dude, absolutely impressive. And I can't wait until you hear his Bronx accent. Ladies and gentlemen, from your NYCFC, Gary Mackay-Steven, everybody.
How's it going, guys?
Gary, thanks so much for joining us. I think the first question for you has to be, you put in an incredible shift last night. We're recording this obviously on the 15th, but on the 14th, you against Orlando, a great shift, a great effort. The game ended in a draw. How are you feeling now? I know when it comes to fighting for a spot, getting minutes, but that was, I feel like, a strong effort from the team last night.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree. I thought out with the first 15 minutes, I thought, it took, they caught us by surprise. We took a little bit longer to get going, to catch our second win. They obviously got the goal and got a bit of confidence. But out with, take away the first 15 minutes, I thought as a team it was a good performance. It's never easy going down there with the heat and everything and all these factors. But the boys put in a great shift and we created chances, and it was, but a point, in the bigger pictures, is certainly a good point going down the same day and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of positives from yesterday, certainly.
That's awesome. When you look at just, your time here in New York, you seem to become every match. You seem to be becoming almost like a more essential part of the starting 11 and the squad itself. How do you think the team is starting to solidify? Because as a fan base, we're really starting, you guys. It doesn't matter, who's in, who gets picked for the first 11, who's injured, who's not. It seems like you guys have a plan. You stick to it, and it seems to be banging on all cylinders. What do you think as one of the players?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. I feel since the manager came in, now we really know the way he wants to play and whether, what players come in or that they know their job. And yeah, we've been solid. We've had a lot of good performances out with the odd ones, but we feel confident as a team. We feel, there's a lot more to come from us still, and we're in a good place. Obviously, we're pushing to get at the top of the Eastern Conference, but going into the business end of the season, if you like, we feel confident that we can apply our game plan and get results, and I think. We're all confident and positive and looking ahead, and hopefully finish the season really well.
Yeah, and last night we heard the news that James Sands will likely be out for the rest of the season with a foot injury. What has he meant to the team? When you're on the pitch and have such a young player that's such a solid defensive, stalwart out there, how his loss? How do you think that's going to affect the squad?
Yeah, we're all gutted for James. It's so unfortunate he picked up that injury, and it's going to keep him out for a number of weeks. He's been absolutely brilliant. So young, like you say. He plays a lot older than he is. He's so consistent with his performances defensively and gives that base for us. And so it's going to be a big miss. But we've got a lot of other players. Keaton Park's doing so well in the centre of the park as well. And last night, Ringy dropped back in there. And we've got players that can play a number of positions. And, it just gives an opportunity for someone else to come in. But now we wish James the best and hope he's back before the end of the season. Hopefully, fingers crossed for that. But, we just keep going and be confident in the strength of the squad, really.
Right. When you look at your career, right, you spent quite a bit of long time over in Britain playing, especially in Scotland, right? We can hear from your accent. Just tell me a little bit about what it felt like to play in Orlando, which is very similar weather to what you got over in Scotland. I'm sure your lungs were fully prepared for it. Tell me a little bit about what that was like. Just the temperature, just the playing in the summer here in the States.
Yeah, it's a shock. Where I'm from, the temperature never really hits half of what it does like over here, especially.
Are you on the phone with your friends like, I can't bloody breathe? I can't do an accent, but
that was shocking accent. It did take me by surprise coming over here. Because even New York in the summer can be so hot, but then Orlando, you've got the humidity and all these type of things that. Yeah, it takes a little bit getting used to. I know I've got a little excuse. It took me 20 minutes. So I was surprised it only took me 20 minutes to get into the game yesterday. But it's just all these challenges that over here it's amazing to experience. But having been here now for over a year, you do get used to it a little bit more, and you know what to expect and all these type of things with the traveling involved and all that. But it's great. I'm loving it. It's amazing, and it's so different to back home, but it's a great experience, and I'm loving it.
All right,
I got an idea. We should put your shoes in the freezer, right? Now, hear me out, right? That way, when you wear them,
any shoe, like your slippers or
no, like
boots?
Your boots. You know what I mean? Because you're used to such cold, hard grass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true, maybe. I'll take that on board.
You're not used to feeling your toes when you play. You're from Scotland, you know.
I know.
I'm curious about, I remember watching your introduction video when you first signed with the club, and your just excitement about just living in New York, playing in MLS. Is there any thing that immediately stands out as far as differences? We can start with MLS, like the difference between MLS and the Scottish League, and what was the thing that maybe surprised you the most about playing in Major League Soccer?
Like we touched on, the weather and the travel, but I think one of my first away experiences was actually Orlando. I didn't actually play, but we traveled to Orlando. I wasn't registered at the time. It was like an Open Cup game. So just traveling down, and obviously different weather, different climate. And I mind soon after that we went, another early on was Salt Lake City we played in, and there I mind the guys telling me, it'll be tough to breathe there in a different way, and it was I can't really explain it. It was obviously the altitude or something like that. So you've got all these type of things in New York. I didn't know New York was so hot in the summer, and I just always thought New York was kind of maybe like back home, and obviously the winters were a lot of snow and stuff, but it's really seasonal over here too. It's proper hot in the summer and cold in the winters, but
it's all these Christmas movies that make New York seem like it's a nice, chilly, lovely little city.
Home Alone 2 made everyone just assume. Exactly. Yeah, it made everyone assume we live in a winter wonderland, like we live in Siberia here. Yeah.
Exactly. So just these type of things, and obviously now you come into a changing room, it's so many different nationalities, so many different cultures and stuff, and but no, it's brilliant. The changing room's top boys in there and coaches and that, so it's a great atmosphere to.
How's your Spanish, Gary?
Oh, my Spanish is.
Is it as easy to understand your Spanish as it is to understand when you speak English? Because if so, the boy's got a problem.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I know. I need to get better at that's just pretty basic, my Spanish so far.
I think the cool thing about at least the MLS's back tournament was that pretty much any team you saw play, you saw that there were about like 5 to 6 different languages being spoken, right? There were no fans, so the players are mic'd up. That was kind of the cool thing. NYCFC is an incredibly diverse international squad. Is there, are you learning different language besides Spanish? Because it seems like you sort of have to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a kind of Scandinavian boys that speak Swedish, Norwegian. It's kind of similar languages they speak, and then Maxime at the back, he's French, and you've got all sorts going on. Maxi sometimes he can speak Italian, Spanish, English, so it's incredible. They're bilingual. I feel a bit stupid. I feel like we come from Britain, you speak English, and you expect it because everyone can speak English, and you almost feel ignorant because all these guys can speak many languages, and you're just kind of going by in English, the basics. So it's crazy, but no, I should really make a point of learning another one for sure. It'd be cool.
All jokes aside, probably the most difficult person to understand when they speak their native tongue would be Gunnar, right? It sounds like a fax machine. Like, I don't think that's even a language, bro. 4 sounds and a click? What was that?
Incredible.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm also curious about living in being in New York, right? And what has how's your life? I know obviously this year is surreal and very different, but the time before the lockdown, what was it like for you? How are you enjoying living in New York?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's an incredible place. I mean, like you say, last year and stuff, you just got anything you could possibly want in your doorstep. It's mad. I mean, I mind going to, I love basketball, so I went to a few Knicks games and Nets also as well, which was really cool. And yeah, just in the city, you've got museum stuff. I kind of got a wide range of interests. I love doing experiencing all sorts of stuff. So I went to the MoMA Museum one time. It was really cool. And yeah, coffee shop. Love going out for a coffee. And here, I don't know if I've been to the same one more than once because there's that many good ones. So all these type of things is just amazing. So lucky to kind of be in a city that you can do so much, you know.
Okay.
If there's one thing you miss from Scotland, or what was it, Turin? Where are you from again? Turso, right?
Turin,
Turso,
yeah.
You came from Juve?
Yeah, you from Turin? Buddy, your Italian is horrible. Oh no, you came from Turso. Is there something you miss from, obviously besides family and family cooking? Is there something you miss that New York you think doesn't have? Is it Smokies? I know you guys eat those, right?
Smokies, yeah. I think. I mind going back in the off season last year, and where I'm from originally, it's such a quiet place, so it's kind of like you've got kind of countryside and all that, and mountains and all these types of things. So maybe it was in beaches that are kind of like there's nobody there. Kind of you could go to these beaches, so many, and like you'd be the only one on it, kind of thing, and just open spaces and maybe, I don't know, clean air or something. It's not that it's, being in the city, you feel like,
it's different.
Always so many people. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
So going back home, I appreciate how like quiet and kind of, it's just so different. But maybe that, and I don't know why else. Thursday's not got an awful lot more to offer than over here has. So probably that was the kind of thing that stuck out, just being like, it was nice to just chill out and, I feel New York's just a million miles an hour. There's always, you want to do something, and there's just it was nice to kind of kick back like that sense.
Maybe you can confirm something, because I brought this up and people don't believe me. In Scotland, y'all eat something, I believe it's called a crisper. It is a deep fried slice of pizza.
Yeah, pizza crunch.
Pizza crunch, that's it.
Pizza crunch, yeah. Deep fried, yeah. I mean,
sounds
how
dangerous.
How do you all not look like me? Let me ask you that. You can't eat that, right?
I mean, no. To be honest, pizza crunch, I wouldn't recommend a pizza crunch. Some people love it. It's crazy, but no, pizza's a pizza. You don't need to wrap it in batter. It's just ridiculous. I've got mates that love that, which is mad. But they batter everything. Like, we've got lots of, we'd call them chippies, so like fish and chips shops. That you get battered Mars bars, battered jammy Dodgers. You know what a jammy Dodger, like a biscuit. Jammy Dodger. It's a biscuit. It shouldn't be battered, but over in Scotland we batter that too. So yeah, it's we've got that.
And biscuit is cookie, right?
That's right. Sorry,
so I'm just
cookies.
Trying to visualize. So it's a deep fried cookie.
I'm in.
Yeah, sorry, deep fried cookie. It's basically like an Oreo, and deep fry an Oreo, but obviously a different type of cookie. So
there was a place that used to exist over here called Chip Shop, and if you brought them anything for $2, they would batter it and deep fry it.
Yeah.
And somebody once brought them a Big Mac from McDonald's. And the guy took a bite, and everyone was like, "How is it?" He's like, "It's horrific." And then he ate the whole thing. Of course, he poured vinegar all over it and took it to town, dude.
No, there's some mad cuisines back home. It's crazy. So.
And the cool thing is that you've also gotten the opportunity to represent Scotland on the international level. What has that meant for you, and getting to do that? And do you think that there is the coming to MLS will maybe help you get back, and maybe help you represent your country? And also, I'm sure maybe there are people in Scotland that also ask you questions like, "What's MLS like? Should I go play there?" What do you think about that as far as getting back to the international level?
Yeah, I think definitely you're on a stage here. The MLS is so big over here. It's all getting bigger and bigger, but it's so big at the moment. And back home, there's so much scope on it. It's on the TV, a lot of channels now. If people stay up late enough to watch most of the games, but there's a big eye on it now, and there's a big obviously there's big players that come over every transfer window and stuff. And yeah, certainly you're in the right place if you be consistent in your performances. You get your performance level up. There's always eyes on you. So no, it's certainly something I still got ambition for. It's a big honour representing your country. It's like one of the pinnacles of your career. You know, it feels different when you put on the national team shirt of your country. So it's you've got goals and ambitions. You just keep pushing day in, day out, do the work in the training ground and the games, and hopefully, you know, it's a bonus if that comes along again.
All right. Okay. Gary Mackay-Steven, man, we appreciate you. The work and the effort that you put into the club, the goals that you've been scoring. It's an honor to have you on the show. So thank you again for joining us.
Happy to be here, lads. He's doing an amazing show. It's a good laugh. So happy to be here.
Thanks for hopping on with us, man. It's the best. All right, maybe let's do a little match preview presented by EA Sports. He's like, yo, who's next?
All right, so let's take a look at the upcoming match against Columbus Crew happening this Sunday, October 18th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So Columbus Crew have been, we saw them in the bubble, the MLS is Back tournament. They've been great. They've I wouldn't say they've necessarily slipped while ever since the return. It's just that Toronto has been playing so well. But
I would say they have slipped a little bit because it seems like they were the pace leader, and now it seems like Toronto and Philly are kind of calling those shots a little bit. And Columbus just lost to Cincinnati. That's right, you heard me. Just lost to Cincinnati.
Other teams have lost to Cincinnati. It's not just them.
But that's their big derby, right? Like, the hell is real. Yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of Columbus, that moment was, you're like, you know what? It's a good name. Led by Giassi Zardes, which also might be confusing some folks. But I mean, they're still a really great club, and the way that Caleb Porter has them playing, it feels like the type of team that can frustrate NYCFC because they love to keep possession. They love to sort of play back and around, and they're all making late runs, very similar to what we're trying to do.
They're a good team. And having a strong, skillful striker in Giassi Zardes up there can cause some challenges. I know the early game, was it the first or second game of the season where Maxime got an early red card from a denial of obvious dog-so, obviously. So it's a team that always gives us trouble, right? Whether it's in the playoffs, whether it's in the regular season. So the last three matches have all been 1-0. We've won twice. They've won once. So I'm expecting kind of more of the same. Columbus has not been a team that's been giving up a bunch of goals this season. So I think it's going to be a tough game to score goals. So we'll see who kind of steps up. We're running out of options of who exactly is going to score for us, especially, is it going to be Tati? Does it have to be someone in the midfield? So somebody's going to have to step up in this game.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but if you look at the way that MLS structures their contracts, especially the sort of the cap space and whatnot, 2 more injuries for NYCFC, and you and I play for the team. Did you know that?
Okay, it's going to be an interesting what an interesting stipulation. I'm
just going to alert the physios.
Okay. You know what? I got to be honest. I should have read the fine print in this contract.
When we signed on for this show, I didn't read the whole thing.
It's mumbo jumbo. I'm like, look, this is too much legalese. Yeah. We're stand-up comedians.
What page do we sign? 75? All right, seems like a lot, but we'll get there.
Okay, Kitman, put my name on the back. Let's go.
Right. I'm gonna need additional padding, and whatever that tape is you put on the skin, buy a lot of it. I'm gonna be mummified out there.
So look, the match is obviously this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The predictions. What do we think? I think it's gonna be another 1-0. I think it's gonna be 1-0 again.
I think it's going to be a 2-1 to NYCFC only because Columbus is coming off a really bad loss, and they're just going to be, I'm sure Caleb Porter is not taking it lightly and taking it in stride. I'm sure the players are hearing about it. And let's not forget, they've got Derek Etienne, who used to play for Rebels, who he's clearly wants to show up for a match like this, playing his old rival. So I have a feeling it's going to be 2-1 NYCFC.
Okay, that's a fair assessment, Alexis. Okay, everybody. Yes, best of luck to the boys on Sunday. Thank you again for joining us, the Cooligans, on another episode of NYCFC at Home with the Cooligans, presented by El Jimador.